Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning, ma'am. Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So, we're going to write answers on governance today, right? Governance है तो बहुत छोटा subject. It's a very small like description that has been given in the syllabus is less. The number of questions that are asked are also fairly less, but the good part of it is that very limited number of topics are there, and most of the questions that are asked, even if you cover the previous year questions, you will be able to have pakka content on whatever question is being asked. So having even two questions, which you know that what is going to come, is a blessing in UPSC, because of the uncertainty कि पता नहीं क्या पूछ लेंगे, what they will ask, from where they will ask, what kind of question they will ask. So knowing exactly content for some questions is a big relief. So I strongly recommend, I if the way I discussed in the video, it has not been uploaded, I saw. So again, I'm going to reiterate what you do. Again, take any book which has divided syllabus wise. From each topic of syllabus, just pick some content that you have to write for 250 words. Some content like for all the topics, for NGOs, for SHGs, for civil services reforms, whatever topic is there, just take some content that you will have to write in that 250 word answer. It's not much. It is a one day exercise. Okay, if you are a beginner or your speed is slow, that's also fine, take 2 days, but it is a very beneficial low input high output exercise. Okay, 25 marks, knowing 25 marks ka what is something is going to come in the final exam is a bliss, and we have to recognize it. This subject has been ignored, like nobody teaches it, nobody studies it. There is very less material available. So you can, what I used was Vajiram Yellow Book. It was too much content on a small topic. It is not required, but I could pick and choose from what I wanted. Now a lot of materials are available. One I know is Sunya IS. You can check out that. I don't know. I've not studied that. Just see if it is good enough. I think it would be good enough because only 250 words have to be written. Out of the whole content, you have to just pick some content to remember it forever. Forever, whenever you have to write the exam. That's all. All right. Got the approach how it is supposed to be for governance? Okay. So chalo, we'll write our first answer today. What do you mean by minimum government, maximum and maximum governance? How it can be achieved? Simple question. What do you mean by it? Give it in your language. What do you actually mean by minimum?
Ma'am, screen is not visible, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. It's visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
So question is, what do you mean by minimum government and maximum governance? How it could be achieved? In your language, tell what do you understand by minimum government, maximum. Don't bother about points, this and that. First would be you have to explain to some extent, maybe just an introduction, a paragraph, two paragraphs. Then go ahead and tell how it could be achieved. Right? Give examples, certain examples that how governance, less like minimum government and maximum governance will be achieved. And maybe you can write a way forward if you have space, if you have less of content, that what further steps are required to achieve it. Right? We'll start writing the answer. Chalo, start writing. Okay, the time is up. How many of you have completed the answer? Good, very good. How many of you are writing? So I can say fairly everybody has completed it. Very good. So tell me, some people before starting the question, definition was given by some students. How can it be achieved? Tell me some points about how minimum government, maximum governance can be achieved. E-governance advantages: overlapping crowding reduces, maximum policy implementation, use of tech, inclusivity, decentralization through e-governance, promoting e-governance, okay, digitization again, okay, representatives, more participation, correct, social audit, time-bound manner of service delivery, establishment of law and order, complaint redressal mechanism, RTI. Fine, so you understand the essence of it, right? Right. We'll see. The concept of minimum government, maximum governance aims to reorient government's role from a regulator to a facilitator in order to align with the need of time that is efficient, faster, transparent, and citizen-centric governance. Right? Then how can it be achieved? First, by rationalization, reducing the size of government. That, like, if we find out the literal meaning, that is what it means: rationalization, leaner workforce. Example, tribunal reforms by merging them. Then technology adaptation to reduce human interference, human interaction. Example, facelessness in revenue department. You can also write e-governance. You can talk about all that uh, judiciary, that e-courts, right? Then time-bound and right-based service delivery. Implementation of citizen charter, Sevottam model. Reducing regulatory cholesterol by faster clearances. Example, forming land banks for businesses. Participative governance, use of RTI, social audit like mechanism to create aware citizenry and accountable representatives. Private participation, private sector participation for efficient working and faster project execution. Example, in highway construction. Then rationalization of laws. From 81 to 4 labor codes have been created, ensuring ease of doing business. Now, what are the challenges of minimum government and maximum governance? You could also write what are the step forwards to achieve this aim, or what I chose to write was what are the challenges in minimum government, maximum governance. Withdrawal from public good, example, subsidies. Commercialization of health and education. It can lead to rise in inequality, example, regional disparity. Gives rise to market economy than a socialistic economy that India is supposed to be, uh, according to our constitution. The need is to minimize the red tapeism and bureaucratic hurdle and maximize the presence of government for socio-economic development and areas of macroeconomic stability. Right? Very good. Very good conclusion. Government can be an enabler, but not a micromanager. What इसी का थोड़ा सा rephrasing I had used in my introduction, so I wouldn't use it in my conclusion. But if you are using something else in your introduction, you could use it in the conclusion, or you could use it in a introduction also. But it's a good way of putting the idea. Suman, I have noted your point that some uploading issue has happened. I'll ask Convert team to correct it. How commercialization of education and health is a challenge. Not to this, it can lead to commercialization of education and health because government is withdrawing from such things, and commercialization is happening in such area which is the like which essentially requires government presence in them. Ma'am, these challenges are more like criticism. Yes, yes. You could also write again. I chose to write the challenges. You could also write further steps required for achieving minimum government, maximum governance. Right? That might contain civil services reforms further. है ना? Some steps like that. Can we write strategic sectors? Sure, you can write. Can we write in short needs after intro? Yes, like draw infographics so as it doesn't occupy the major space of what is being asked. Okay. So shall we write the next answer? Civil society involvement, participative governance, disinvestment. Yes, very good. Disinvestment. In you can give example of railways, Vande Bharat. Operational disinvestment is happening for minimum government and maximum governance. Right? Yes, DigiLocker, all these points. Very good. Good, Nikita. Chalo, let's write the next question. Civil service reform is a deliberate change and are very necessary in present era. In this context, explain the key principles underlying the civil services reforms. So you have to think about the reforms that are happening and then you have to tell what are the underlying principles, why they are happening. तो सिंपल फॉर्मेट में बोलेंगे तो क्या सिविल सर्विसेज रिफॉर्म हो रहे हैं और क्यों हो रहे हैं. You have to give a little slight explanation to it. Right? How to identify the hidden part that has to be written in the question. Wait, chalo, let's write this answer. I'll take it up, Hardeep. Chalo, start writing. Okay, the time is up. How many of you have completed the answer? Good. How many of you are writing? Good. Okay. So we'll discuss the structure, how it is going to be. Yes, Hota ka mission Karam Yogi literal entry. All right. All that has to be with on your analysis, all this content has to be sprinkled. These are literal entry is one of the reform that is going to happen. Mission Karam Yogi is a reform that is going to happen. Yes, second IRC can be written. If you know a recommendation, you write it. If you don't know, write a general sentence and write it as a second ARC recommendation. See, all these points that I'm telling you, they're not the idealistic ones. When I'm telling you that you write a general sentence and write second report's name or book's name, they might not be the most ideal, the correct way of writing answer. But we all I especially more than anybody understands that the ultimate aim is to uh, like get marks in the final exam and how important that is. It's a cutthroat competition, and one mark will matter a lot. So this might not be told to you by any like a coaching institute or a well trained teacher who is there in an institute. So it's an experience, through experience, that I'm sharing it with you. So you implement it, see how it works, and test it in your that tests when you're giving when you're putting up for evaluation. See how it works out. According to my experiences, it has worked out really well, and I'm hoping that it will work out for you also. It's a shortcut that I've told you very quickly that you might have realized after some time, right? Yes, introduction, need for civil services reform, various reforms, underlying principles, and way forward. No problem, Gayatri. Once you read this topic, it's a like a mostly a static topic, and once you learn about what civil services reforms are going on, you'll be able to write any kind of answer that has been asked. All right. So, mota everybody has given those who have written in the chat box. The structure is correct only. So let's lack of specialization, right? Let's see how it comes out on a paper. Civil services form the steel frame of the nation. They form the permanent executive who advise the government representatives on various policy matters and also execute the policies on ground, right? But there is a need for civil services reform. What is the need? Lack of trust of citizens, ivory tower mentality, prevalent corruption, colonial overhang of MAW attitude, lack of specialization, policy paralysis, right? What are the civil services reform and what are the underlying principles to it? Mission Karam Yogi for capacity building as a continuous process. Rationalization of service. Example, 8 railway services have been merged into IRMS. Idea is to underlying principle is to break silo working for better coordination and interdisciplinary understanding. 360-degree performance appraisal. Accountability at workplace and breaking bureaucratic hierarchy. Lateral entry, bringing in private expertise and sense of competitiveness. Right? Then citizen charter has been implemented to imbibe the sense of service and time-bound service delivery. Programs like Vigilance Awareness Week to remind and instill values of integrity, probity in public life. Right? Then reward and recognition programs to inculcate badal sakta hai instead of chalta hai attitude to promote innovation. All these like the general sayings that we use are actually very good when you write it in answer, because the evaluator is able to look into it immediately and connect with it. It creates a positive association that something that has been written is a very is a common saying, or he has said it or he has read it multiple times, right? The reforms are based on Hota Commission and Alag Commission. Some have been implemented and some are under process. What further steps are required? Security of tenure, creating a civil services board, preventing political interference for working without fear or favor, protection from harassment by differentiating between draft cases and honest mistakes, lateral exits along with lateral entry, giving private exposure to civil servants. The above measures of civil services reforms are essential to modernize bureaucracy and deliver the message of PM Modi to change from ABCD to ROAD. This was a 2014 message that PM Modi had delivered from ABCD to ROAD, and it has been very helpful for me for conclusions. So ABCD is avoid, bypass, confuse, delay. ROAD is responsibility, ownership, accountability, and discipline. Right? Yes, mid-career training, new deputation rules. Yes, Yugandhar committee, all these can be put up. Right? Fine. So most of the content you guys must have been knowing, I'm pretty sure. Especially the main part of the question that has been asked, that what is the underlying principle? It was just a representation thing, and if even once you have read civil services reform, or you have brainstormed on it, or you have just observed around you, it will not be a difficult question. And now that we have solved it here, again it will, whenever it comes in future, you will be able to solve it. Apart from general need, is there any reason to set up civil services reform? Like all the needs that are there is to make it efficient, to make it faster, civil services, to reform civil services according to the upcoming technologies and the disruptive phase we are going through. Right, guys? So we'll close the session for today. I hope you got some idea on governance, how to write some answers, and like how to go about the abstract questions also, that what do you mean by this and that, like that. Ivory tower mentality is that when you are very high headed, raja jaise reh rahe ho, na, and you don't understand that what is the issue of the ground. That's how ivory tower mentality. My bap attitude, what is my bap attitude? Ki I will do at my, everybody's at my mercy, right? November 5, I will tell them to upload. Best source of governance, any book which gives content syllabus wise. Just pick it up, see syllabus wise, get 250 words, and see previous year questions. Previous year question will cover all of it. Previous year question, like, because of the limited number of questions that are there, you can go through those questions and you'll be able to cover all of them. Yeah, I would write like this only, and most of the times. This is a common way of my writing, Richie. I'll write my answers like that only. Can we write PM Modi's name? Yes, yes, definitely you can write. All right, guys. Hidden part of the question. It depends upon your understanding. Like, what do you feel? Do you feel that there is a need to write way forward in this question, civil services reforms? Though you have given what has been asked, one is, you could have written, keep writing these points, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points still here. Or do you think you can go a step, you have a limit here, and you can go a step further and tell that yes, all these things are happening, but there are some other steps also required in future. So that comes on the, like, in the form of continuity, that if you are talking to a person, if you're telling about something, what would be your preceding thing, what would be your after the completion, what would you be telling, that हाँ ये तो हो गया है, इससे आगे ये भी करने की जरूरत है. right? It gives like a completion to your answer. That's how you find out that if any hidden part is required or not. Got my point? 5 points are sufficient. It depends upon your content, not the number of points that have to be written. There are some questions that जो उसमें फिर repeat होने लगेगा, third point के बाद ही repeat होने लगेगा. Do you really want to repeat the content? The evaluator doesn't have time, you don't have time, you don't have space. You can, Basant. It's not a big deal that chalta hai attitude. It's a commonly known thing. You can write if you wish to. It can be written like chalta hai casual attitude, like that you can write. Right? All right, guys. Bye bye. Have a good day. Study well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.